When you picture the richest royal family on earth, you probably picture them. The Windsors, Buckingham Palace, the golden carriage, the crown jewels behind bulletproof glass. And I understand why. But I have to tell you something right at the start, and it might sting a little. The British royal family isn't the richest in the world. They're not second. They're not even in the top 5. Tonight I'm going to take you up a ladder of thrones, from the merely fabulously wealthy to a family that doesn't count its money in billions, but in trillions. A family with 15,000 members sitting on a fortune worth more than Elon Musk and Bill Gates combined, twice over. But I want you to hold one question in your head the entire way up, because it's the question nobody in this world can cleanly answer. Where does the family end and where does the country begin? Because with royal money, that line is deliberately, beautifully blurry. The most famous royals are rarely the richest, and the richest are often ones you've never heard a single headline about. So let's climb, one throne at a time. We start at number 7, and we start with the family you were already thinking about, the House of Windsor. Now, the British royal family is estimated to be worth around $28 billion. And if you value the monarchy as an institution, the way the consultancy Brand Finance did, you get a figure of about £67 billion. That includes the Crown Estate, valued at over £15 billion, the Duchy of Lancaster, the Duchy of Cornwall, the Royal Collection, and those crown jewels, which are worth somewhere between $4 and $8 billion on their own. It sounds untouchable. Here's the catch, and it's the whole theme of tonight. King Charles doesn't actually own most of that. The Crown Estate belongs to the nation. He can't sell Buckingham Palace, and he can't cash in the crown jewels. What he does personally own is a much shorter list. Things like Balmoral Castle in Scotland and the Sandringham Estate, inherited privately, plus the income from the Duchy of Lancaster. His personal fortune, the money that's genuinely his, is estimated at under $1 billion, something in the region of 600 to 900 million. The Windsors are the most famous royals alive, and by personal wealth, they're the poorest family on this entire list. That's the paradox we're going to keep meeting all the way up. Fame is not the same as fortune. Keep that in mind, because every family above them owns their wealth in a way the Windsors simply don't. Number 6 takes us to the desert, to Qatar and the House of Thani. The reigning emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, has a personal net worth usually pegged around $1 to $2 billion. But that number is almost a joke, because it misses the point entirely. Behind the Al Thani family sits the Qatar Investment Authority, a sovereign wealth fund managing an estimated $500 billion. And when you walk through London, you're really walking through their portfolio. The Al Thanis own Harrods, which they bought in 2010 for around £1.5 billion. They own the Shard, the tallest building in Western Europe. They own a slice of Canary Wharf, a stake in the Empire State Building across the Atlantic, and by some estimates more prime London real estate than the Crown itself. They own the football club Paris Saint-Germain. They hold big stakes in Volkswagen, in Barclays, in the supermarket Sainsbury's, a tiny peninsula about the size of Connecticut, turned into one of the richest states per person on the planet, and the family sits at the very center of all of it. Personal wealth, a couple of billion. Family control, $500 billion. See how the line blurs? On paper, the emir looks like a minor billionaire. In reality, his family may be the single largest private landlord in the British capital. Number 5, and we stay in the Gulf, moving to Dubai and the House of Al Maktoum. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai and vice president of the United Arab Emirates, has an estimated personal fortune that older lists put around $4 billion, though many estimates now run far higher, well into the double digits. But again, the personal figure hides the truth. This is the family that essentially owns the corporation called Dubai. Through Dubai Holding, they control a sprawling empire of property, hotels, and investments. The tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, rises out of their city. The man-made Palm Jumeirah Islands, the 7-star Burj Al Arab, the world's busiest international airport, the airline Emirates, all of it flows through an economy the family built and steers. Sheikh Mohammed also owns Godolphin, one of the most successful horse racing operations on the planet. with a stable of thoroughbreds worth hundreds of millions, and he built the Meydan racecourse to host the richest race in the world. When your side hobby is a global horse empire, you are doing just fine. Number 4 is where the personal fortunes start to get genuinely staggering, and we fly to the tiny nation of Brunei on the island of Borneo. Meet Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, who has reigned since 1967, making him one of the longest-serving monarchs in the world. His personal wealth, built on Brunei's oil and gas, has been estimated at somewhere between $20 and $30 billion, and for years he was considered the richest man alive. And unlike the Windsors, this man spends it. His palace, the Istana Nurul Iman, is officially the largest residential palace in the world, recognized by Guinness, with 1,788 rooms, 257 bathrooms, a banquet hall that seats 5,000, and a mosque for another 1,500. And then there's the garage. The Sultan's car collection is legendary, reportedly numbering around 7,000 vehicles, including hundreds of Rolls-Royces and Ferraris, and a fleet of custom-built, one-of-a-kind machines. For his 50th birthday in 1996, he reportedly flew in Michael Jackson to perform a private concert. This is opulence with absolutely no apology attached. Number 3, and now we reach the single richest individual monarch on earth. We're going to Thailand and the House of Chakri and its king, Maha Vajiralongkorn. His fortune is controlled through an entity called the Crown Property Bureau, and here's what makes him unique. In 2018, control of that bureau's assets was formally transferred to be held in the king's own name. And those assets are enormous. Estimates of his personal wealth range from around $30 billion up to 40, even 50 billion. The Crown Property Bureau holds massive stakes in some of Thailand's biggest companies, including Siam Commercial Bank and the industrial giant Siam Cement. It owns an estimated 17,000 real estate rental contracts and vast tracts of the most prime land in the heart of Bangkok. It also holds the Chakri crown jewels, including the Golden Jubilee Diamond, the largest cut diamond in the world at over 545 carats. To give you a sense of scale, that single family fortune is larger than the entire annual budget of many small nations. On personal wealth alone, no king, no queen, no sultan comes close to the King of Thailand. So how do we get higher than the richest individual king in the world? By stepping back and looking at an entire dynasty. Number 2, the House of Al Nahyan, the ruling family of Abu Dhabi. Bloomberg has ranked the Al Nahyan the second wealthiest family on the entire planet, with a fortune estimated at over $300 billion. Let that land for a second. Not the second richest royals, the second richest family of any kind, anywhere on earth. At the head sits Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, known as MBZ, President of the UAE, whose personal wealth is estimated around 30 billion. But the family's real power runs through the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, a sovereign wealth fund holding assets estimated close to $1 trillion. Their reach is almost surreal. The family owns a stake in Elon Musk's SpaceX and in Rihanna's Fenty. They own Manchester City Football Club. They control roughly 6% of the world's proven oil reserves. Their main palace is reportedly worth around $475 million, and they keep a fleet of private jets to move between it and the rest of their world. $300 billion and climbing every single year. And that brings us, finally, to number 1, the richest royal family in the world, the House of Saud of Saudi Arabia. And here, the numbers stop making normal sense. The House of Saud is not a family in the way you and I use the word. It has an estimated 15,000 members, with the real wealth concentrated among perhaps 2,000 of them. The family's collective fortune has been estimated at around $1.4 trillion. Trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, that is roughly twice the combined net worth of the richest self-made billionaires on Earth. It is more than the entire economy of most countries on the map. At the foundation of it all sits Saudi Aramco, the state oil company that the family controls. When Aramco sold just a sliver of itself to the public in 2019, it raised $25.6 billion, the largest stock market debut in history, and briefly became the most valuable company in the world at around $2 trillion. King Salman's own personal fortune has been estimated around $18 billion, which almost sounds modest in this company. and individual princes have spent like the money will never run out. One reportedly bought the $500 million super yacht Serene and the record-shattering $450 million painting Salvator Mundi. But the personal figures miss everything. The House of Saud doesn't just have money, they own the land, the oil beneath it, the company that pumps it, and the government that governs it. The crown, the treasury, and the corporation are one and the same. There is simply no equivalent anywhere else on Earth. Which brings me back to the question I asked you at the very beginning. Where does the family end and the country begin? For the Windsors, that line is bright and clear, and it's exactly why their personal fortune looks small. For the House of Saud, that line doesn't exist at all, and that is precisely why they're number one. So who is truly the richest royal family in the world? If you count only what a person privately, legally owns, the King of Thailand may well wear the crown. If you count the wealth a family commands and controls, it's the House of Saud, with the Nahyan right behind them. And the family you pictured at the very start, the Windsors, the most photographed royals in history. They wouldn't even make our top 5. Funny, isn't it? The richest crowns on Earth are the ones you can barely see the edges of. Thanks for climbing the ladder with me. If you enjoyed the view from up here, you know exactly what to do.